Hey everybody, this video is going to cover the minor arcana for the Three of Cups, and I'm going to go ahead and just explain the meaning of it. Okay, so the Three of Cups is the card about friendship. The main thing, the main theme about it is, about getting solace from your friends, or gaining friendship, or having a community. Those are the kind of things that the Three of Cups, deals with, support and all that. Okay, so I'm gonna go and explain it in depth about the different categories, the different subjects. So for work, for instance, if you see the Three of Cups, well, it means that it's a time where you can appreciate maybe your coworkers for being, amenable, supportive. Um, Sometimes people work in an environment where there's a lot of competition, it's real dog eat dog. Well, this is not one of those cards. I mean, it's showing three women, they're raising a toast, they're pledging their friendship, or commitment, whatever you want to call it. And mainly, it's, if you put it in context to your job, simply put, it's a warm environment. How many times can you hear like a person maybe say something like, oh, I work in a really great, my job is great, my coworkers are real friendly, that kind of thing. Maybe, I mean, depending on how often you hear it, you might not hear it often, but it does happen. There's workplaces where people are happy to, be working with who they, work with. So anyway, the Three of Cups deals with friendship and community. So that's for work. Depending on what you see next to it, that can that can alter the meaning. If, for instance, it was in the past, the past position, it's implying you were in a workplace that was, okay before, that was, very warm and loving. And let's say that the central card, meaning the current position, is something like the Five of Swords, well, then there's a big difference. If I saw that in a reading, I would ask a client of mine, I'd say, things were looking really good in the past, and right now it looks really cutthroat. What's going on? It's that kind of a, if you see that kind of a difference. Um, and I'm just trying to think up any other example. Um, obviously I can't go through every single card and give you the different meanings there, but as long as you can get like a general, or at least a thorough, even a thorough um, meaning of the cards, it can help you give, different shades of, gray, and, shades of color to the story. So here, you got this card simply meaning support. That's pretty much the gist of it. For love, again, it depends on your question. If you're asking, let's say, what does so and so feel for me? I get that a lot as a reader. Uh, if you get a question like that and you see the Three of Cups, well, it means that the person in question sees you as a friend. I mean, it's not like the Two of Cups. It's not like the Ace of Cups. It's more of a friendship. Now that doesn't always have to be a bad thing. um, I'm not trying to, sugarcoat anything, but it just depends on what cards are next to it. it doesn't always have to mean just platonic. It doesn't have to mean platonic friendship. I mean, it could be, depending on what's next to it, whatever cards are next to it. Like, you could start off as a friendship, they see you as a friend, but that doesn't say about what they're going to feel about you in the future. So you always got to make sure that you know what elements are surrounding this card. This can also indicate the literal status. There's more than friendship, but right now you're just friends with whoever you're interested in. So it just depends on what's next to it. It's gonna, I'll give examples, hopefully in the future, of, readings that I'll do that can give you guys an idea of how to, some exercises on how to um, interpret cards, like just in action. So yeah, so if you were to see, like, say, the lovers next to it, then that would give you an idea, like, hey, this person is your friend, or they acknowledge you as a friend, but deep down they have, more intense feelings. So, and so that's how you look at it. Okay, so that's for love. And let me see. I don't, like I said, I don't really go into like reversals, like reverse meanings, but I always say, like, if you were to do that, like, some people do read cards in reverse. I personally don't do it because, um, I feel like if it's present, if the energy is present, you could, it's just more confusing for me. I don't like to read it in reverse, because I just don't. It's just too confusing. Um, Sometimes I can just feel if an energy is blocked anyways, just because I am intuitive, so I don't really use it in reverse. So, but anyway, I was gonna say that, for finances, let's go into finances. If you were to read for a financial reading, well, I got a couple of interpretations behind it. If you're just looking at it as the Three of Cups alone, that would mean a support group. Financially, maybe you're not doing so good, but you have friends and family that can support you in your time of need. That's one way to look at it. Again, you know, I can't just sell that as its own meaning. What if the person I'm reading for is rich? Then maybe it means that they're able to enjoy their riches with friends. You got to look at things and know how to, in what context to interpret it. You don't know if the client, what their financial situation is. You can only go based on what cards are nearby and get a general idea of the energy surrounding them. Um, you know, the Three of Cups, if it came up in a reading, I have no idea if the client I'm talking for is really in a financial burden, or if they have more money than they know what to do with. I doesn't say anything. Maybe if I saw, for instance, if I saw, oh, I don't know, let me pick out a card. If I saw, like, there's so many cards, just so many different scenarios possible. Okay, so, like, let's say I get the Queen of Pentacles next to it, right? And I'm not going to go into what position, but if it's like nearby, and I see that snapshot, then I'm going to think that the client is just a very generous person that has money, you know, most likely a generous female, because it's a queen. It doesn't have to be a woman, but it could be a man that's, more, just a more nurturing individual, whatever. But if I see the Three of Cups next to it, then that means that basically, uh, it's a person, it's an individual that's very caring and helps their fellow, man, or their friend, or whoever. So that's what I'm getting. And so I wouldn't look at it as like an indicator of, like, I don't read the cards, like, for me personally, I don't use like the cards as a way to kind of predict, um, like forecast things. I have clients that do that, and I try my best to answer their question in that context, but it's really, you know, you can't just really predict something based on one card, because it's almost like looking at one word and trying to create a story. It just can't, you can't do it. You need more, you need more, you know, elements around it to make that happen. So anyways, that is that's the interpretation for money. And so, you know, I'm gonna see if I could think of another example. Let's say, okay, so we can't really go, we can't really say if things are going, you know, what the status of a person is based on looking at one card, but we can say, you know, if the news is good, for instance, like whether you're rich or poor, you know, seeing the Three of Cups is pleasant. It's a pleasant card. It's more uplifting. The vibration behind this card is more uplifting, you know. I mean, there has to be at least that much of a vibration behind a card. Like, for instance, if I got the Nine of Swords, then that means, okay, this person's going through a pretty stressful time, financially speaking. Doesn't say if they're rich or poor. You could be stressed about your finances. Being rich or poor doesn't matter. um, you have to get like a real, you know, you have to get the bigger picture. Looking at one little tidbit too closely doesn't say anything, you know, and sometimes a client can get mad because, you know, you're telling them something that, you know, is not making any sense to them. So you have to, you know, you have to be a little careful, pull out some more cards, look at what's around, you know, what's around it. And like, for instance, if you got, let's see, trying to think of an example. I should have, maybe next time I'll try to like have some examples already ready, but trying to think of one. For instance, like if you got the Three of Swords, okay, and like it's next to it, and it's even more, for lack of a better example, let's say it's in the past, and then this is in the present. The Three of Cups is in the present. Well, I could just say, well, you went through a hard time. And if it's a financial reading, I could say, well, you had a heartbreak regarding your finances, a real disappointment, and you have some people that are consoling you. Most likely, my client will probably say that's correct. I mean, there's really, you know, I can't really see any other story behind it. There are different interpretations, and that's fine, but that would be mine. Um, and, you know, if you're wrong, well, you know, you always can always tell your client, well, you know, there's different, it's an art, you know, it's, this is not a science, it's an art, the art of tarot reading. And so yeah, so this is mainly the meaning of the Three of Cups for me. So I would say the key words behind it are friendship, support, community, you know, solace, and, you know, it's a really uplifting card. You know, I really like it. You know, it's not really a romantic card, you know, but it is, it's a good, first, it's a good step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction. And, for those people that are looking to gain, you know, appreciation and support, this is the card you want to see. So, okay, well, that is my meaning. That's my video of the Three of Cups. And if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to, you know, to email me. Um, if you want to visit my website, that it is www.stellartarot.com, and I will leave the link in the description. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.